this is your sign that if you don't deal with your self-concept issues or your insecurities where you're at, you're still gonna have them where you're going. So quick story time. My business coach told me a very infamous story that has forever been burned into my brain. And I want to share it with you today because I just got off a client call with my girlie who is like a software tech founder, and she's amazing and she's doing wonderful things. So here's how the story goes. My business coach on one of her coaching calls, back when I was like baby Persis, like just starting out in my business, I was really working on reprogramming my subconscious mind so that I was able to make my business profitable. So I was able to make it my only source of income, like in the sense, like I wanted to do this. I didn't want to do other things. And so I really wanted to make this work. I put all my eggs into this basket because I didn't want to have to go out and do anything else because I really loved what I did. So I was like, I have a lot of limiting beliefs about my ability to make money, my ability to make money online, my self-concept as a business owner, because being a business owner was never in the cards for me. Anyway, long story short, she gets on to one of these coaching calls and she tells me this story. And the story goes like this. She's like, I have worked with individuals who make $100,000 a month. Okay, $100,000 a month. At this point in time, I wasn't even cracking 10K a month. So it's like very big difference, right? And so when it comes to that type of situation, she goes, I know people that make 100K a month and they still cry in coffee shops, feeling not good enough, feeling not worthy, feeling far behind, feeling like they're not enough. And I was so triggered. When I tell you I was triggered, I was triggered. Oh my God, I was triggered. I was like in my mind, I would never say this to like make anybody feel bad, but I was like really like having a full body experience. I was like, that person is so ungrateful. Do they even know what that type of money could do for me and my family? Because I was in like poverty consciousness. I was in lack consciousness. So it's like my projections were all over the place. And for any business owners that are out there, or just people in general, whenever you have haters, they're really just projecting their shit onto you. Like it's never a you thing, just so you know. Like it's always like they're just mad because they can't get there, or they're just mad because they have their own limitations, or they're just mad because they gave up on their dreams. Like, don't ever take that shit personally. It's never a you thing. But anyway, I'm like so in my shit, right? Because when I was at that level, like I was triggered. I was like, what is wrong with this person? They have such a distorted perception of reality. And then until basically I became that girl. I later built my business so big, so fast, with the help of my own business coach, right? Working through all my issues, reprogramming my subconscious mind for success, really conquering things one after one after one after one, that I hit it really big, really fast. And I was able to hold it and I was able to sustain it. And the reason why is because I shifted my belief systems at a core level. Like, me and my business coach, we did a lot of work on my beliefs, on my energetics, on like how I felt about myself and my business, and making sure that things always felt good. But even in that situation, I hit my own 100K months, so many times over, because I'm a 7-figure business owner. And this is the lesson here, right? Because I later became the girl that was crying in coffee shops, feeling not good enough, with crippling imposter syndrome, because I didn't actually deal with my not good enoughness, right? I didn't actually deal with it at a root. Like I knew logically up here, I was good enough, but I was always putting my self-worth into my income. And so then this is exactly what I would do. And this is what I was talking to my client, like educating her to not do what I did. And I was telling her, I was like, listen, if you put your self-worth in the amount of money you make, that means that other people have control over you. And I'm just not in the business to be doing that. Because for me, what I did in the past is I would say, when I hit that 50K month, then I'll feel accomplished. Then I'll feel successful. Then I'll feel good enough. Then I'll feel deserving. Then I'll feel worth it. And I wasn't taking those feelings with me. But the reason I was able to hit it despite not feeling my best is because I had the highest expectation. I had the highest expectation that those goals were possible, that they were doable, that they were achievable, especially for me. But here's the thing. It's actually a punishment to have your goals and still feel like crap and still feel like dirt. And to, you know what I mean? Like any of the things. And sometimes even when you feel that way, eventually you might self-sabotage out of it. Eventually you might not be able to hold it like indefinitely, because everything is always based on this thing that's outside of you. This thing that's outside of you that's holding your sense of self-worth. So I say this to say that when it comes to this situation, I want you to deal with your insecurities. I want you to deal with your fears. I want you to deal with your limiting beliefs, because if you don't, that shit's gonna come right up to the top with you. And there's nothing worse than having what you want and still feeling anxious and still feeling like a piece of shit and still feeling like nothing you do is good enough. And then, you know what I mean? Like that's just not the way to live life. Like, let's practice and normalize having a really good, holistic, like well-encompassed sense of self, so that when you actually shift into your highest timeline, you feel good. So many people want the things so badly that they're not realizing they're sacrificing their mental peace, their sense of self-worth. Like, if I was to tell you you could have your thing tomorrow, a lot of people would be like, great, give it to me tomorrow. But they don't actually want to deal with the fact that they don't feel good enough. They don't feel worthy. They don't feel deserving. And it is those exact things that keep you in separation from what you want. Why would you, as an example, want a relationship and then feel like trash? Still feel anxious? But when I tell people the number one thing you need to do first and foremost to attract a relationship is feel worthy, deserving, good enough, they're like, but that doesn't help, like, me getting a man. That doesn't help me getting a woman. That doesn't help me with this. And it's like, that's actually the foundation. Like, what are you not seeing? What are you not getting? What Venn diagram do you need me to draw? Because everything comes from your sense of self first, and that has to be unshakable in order for you to build anything on top of it. Imagine a house. Your self-concept is the foundation. Too many people have cracks in their foundation, and then they're wondering why things aren't here. Or you could feel amazing about yourself. Maybe you're the opposite. You could feel amazing about yourself, but you have, pardon my French, piss poor belief systems about this being available for you, this being possible for you, 100K months being a thing, this being normal and natural, your relationships are allowed to thrive. Like, you are screwing yourself, pardon my French, on one side or the other. And in some instances, if you're that special type of trauma bonded, you're screwing yourself from both ends. Whichever way you're screwing yourself, you need to figure out a way to unscrew yourself, if that's possible, okay? And I want to tell you how. It starts with belief work. It starts with belief work. The first thing you need to understand is that your beliefs are blocking you from your desires. If your reality isn't the way you want it to be, your beliefs are always the thing that's blocking that next level. Because you're hanging on to a belief or an assumption that is perfectly contradicting it. I'll give you an example. I could want to manifest a soulmate by the end of this year, but I may believe that this type of love isn't possible for me. So do you see how I have a belief that's perfectly conflicting the outcome that I want? I may want to achieve 100K months, but then I have a belief for why I can't have it, which is that maybe people can't pay my prices. And so there's always something that's perfectly blocking the flow of your desire coming in. When you're doing all the affirmations, visualizations, techniques, but you're not getting what you want, it's because of one reason and one reason only. Your beliefs haven't actually shifted at a core level, which is what's keeping your reality stuck. And the only thing we need to be doing is shifting our core belief system, then getting everything we want. If we're not getting everything we want, the belief hasn't shifted yet. So when you focus on what really matters, which is shifting these core beliefs, you must receive what you want and fast. The link is in my bio if you want to join my Belief Accelerator program to fix this. This is what changes everything.